You don't know when somebody's going to put acid on your face, somebody's going to come and kill you.
India's apparel and fashion market is valued at over $100 billion. But size does not mean stability.
Nobody in the fashion industry wanted to hire me. Having me on board would be a liability.
Very few independent designers manage to stay profitable.
Unfortunately, I wish fashion schools start teaching business side of fashion. I just walked up to that street and it was written, and you have that thing rent, and he quoted 5,000 at that time. I said yes. That's when I took the stand that, okay, I might as well just start my own label. I said, karna hai to karna hai. I just started. I was having problem even to explain it to my karigars. The only thing I kept on saying is just believe in me, it'll be okay. 25 years back, there was nothing called cyber law. We were very helpless. To be very honest, I still tremble to even talk about it. So you have to be on top. You have to be on top of design. You have to be on top of marketing. You have to be on top of your e-commerce. Of everything, you have to be on top. I was very lucky that I got a very nice project to do with many celebrities at one go. I had Malaika, Lara Datta, I had Priyanka Chopra. We had just opened at MG1 and MG2. Trust me, this is at midnight. I just got a call. Tomorrow morning it's going to be demolished. We went all the way and whatever inventory we could pull out, we could. And next morning, it was all gone.
India's apparel and fashion market is valued at over $100 billion, making it one of the largest fashion markets. But size does not mean stability. Fashion is one of the most cash-intensive consumer businesses, driven by seasons, inventory risk, and constant reinvention. Very few independent designers manage to stay profitable and relevant over a long period of time without external funding. It isn't about talent alone. It's about discipline, judgment, and resilience. My guest today is someone who has successfully navigated the reality for over 2 decades, building on independent label and sustaining it through ever-changing markets and personal inflection points. Mandira, welcome to the show. Welcome to Beyond Titles. Thank you so much for being here.
Suraj. Thank you.
And we look forward to our conversation today.
Thank you.
So Mandira, let's go back 25 years back. You studied in London School of Fashion, one of the best in the world. You came to India thinking about starting something on your own. And you had a very unfortunate stalking incident. Can you share how it was for you personally? Because you came maybe full gung-ho that I want to start something, and suddenly you're here and suddenly this first thing happens to you.
Yeah. So it's only now that I'm actually really talking about it. And I was very young. I got back with a lot of energy, thinking that, I'll come back and I'll do a lot of work. I wanted to work under a lot of labels. And I was very fortunate when I got back and I worked with Rina Dhaka. I went for my interview and I was lucky that she, said, I'm on board. And I worked very hard with her. It was only unfortunately just for a month I worked with her. And that severe stalking situation started where all the letters went to everyone, to all the fashion fraternity. And it was a nightmare for everyone, for my parents, for me. Nobody in the fashion industry wanted to hire me because everyone knew that having me on board would be a liability.
But why a liability?
Because Suraj, there were letters sent to everyone. Like when I was working with Rina Dhaka, there were letters sent to her. Her phones were tapped. My phones were tapped. Where this gentleman wanted, I don't know what he wanted, unfortunately, but letters went where he would burn the factories. He would kidnap their children. I was sent letters where I would be, acid would be on my face. It's something to be very honest, I still tremble to even talk about it because it is something which I absolutely pray to God that nobody ever goes through it. So going back on your question, so when Rina Dhaka also got these letters and, calls and everything, she sat me down and said that, you don't have any option because nobody will, everybody in the fashion fraternity was talking about me. And I'm here, a young girl with so much of energy, with so much of hope that I will be, working and getting my, experience. It just was gone. And so she said to me that either you just get married or start on your own or just think of something. And she just said, there's nothing we can do. So the journey was, I had no option, and letters didn't stop, stalking didn't stop. My father and I went to so many people to seek help. But at that time, 25 years back, there was nothing called cyber law. There was no help. Everyone just said that. They were also helpless in their own way. And it was one of my, it was something I don't even know how to even talk about it, because you don't know when somebody's going to put acid on your face, somebody's going to come and kill you, scared. You can't even move. I didn't move out of my room. I was so depressed. I didn't know what to do. And, people pointing fingers at my parents, at me, as if there was something wrong with us, We were very helpless, and there was nothing anybody could do.
But you don't know the background, why it happened to you? It was just absolutely random?
It was just happened. And I don't know what it was.
But did you ever think about, let's go back to London? It's just not worth my time being here.
What would have been? There was nothing I would have gone there and done, right? It was something that we were dealing with it. And then it was just so happened that when I realized that there was no option, that's when I took the stand that, okay, I might as well just start my own label, because so that's how I started my journey, really speaking.
It's like you just woke up and you like, check this.
Yeah.
Let's start
my own label. And I just went to Shahpur and I was just walking around, and and I remember Suraj, I didn't even know anything about it. I just walked up to that street and I went to third floor. It was written, and you have that thing, rent. I just went there. I saw the place. I liked it. I still remember the guide. I went and negotiated myself. I didn't know anything about it. And he quoted 5,000 at that time. And I said yes. I didn't even discuss it with my parents, nothing. I said, karna hai to karna hai. So I had no idea where I'm going to get that 5,000, what will be my structure of my business. I just started. And God was kind. Even that time I had a lot of issues, because when I started, in that time it was still going on. My problem was still going on. It was not something that got over. So when I had my masters and I had my tailor, it was a small team. And even they were, harassed. Their tires were deflated. There were a lot of, they were on my, at night in the morning when I would come to the factory, there were things written on my doors. Everywhere there was a situation, like I was having problem even to explain it to my karigars that what was happening to me, because they didn't understand. The only thing I kept on saying is just have belief in me. It'll be okay, But even at that time, there were just obstacles and obstacles and obstacles throughout.
But when you came, you always thought that, yes, I do want to become an entrepreneur and have my label, or your dream was to work with large designers?
I would have loved to. I would have loved to. I would have, if given an opportunity, I would have loved to work with many, many labels, would have learned the industrial knowledge. See, we all can go to best colleges, but what you learn hands-on is very different. So I really miss that, because I really wish I had that experience. I would have made less mistakes. I'm still learning with so many mistakes that I do even now.
But from your experience of this, and where I'm getting to is, a lot of people today have challenges, or whose life may turn upside down. So from your experience, what would you like to share so that they can come outside what has happened, and there is something way ahead as well?
So I would say that family is very important. I think if your family understands you and gives you that support, that itself is a very big thing. However, you must, I would say that what really got me going is that I just had that fire still in my belly. I still have it. I hope, I pray I do have it. That it just kept me going. Anybody else would have probably surrendered or, gone a different path. I just feel that you have to believe in yourself and should have that deep down desire that whatever it is, you must keep going, And that is, I think, what has kept me going for almost 25 years, for me not to give up. Because if this is just small things I'm telling you, in 25 years, I've been through so much. And it's only made me stronger, to be honest. It's only made me stronger. Of course, we all cry about it. We get demoralized. But end of the day, you have to have that within you that you can still do it. Don't give up would be my thing to tell everyone. Don't give up.
And then you finally started around 2000.
Yes.
And, what I was reading, the Indian market was still very different, maybe more traditional at that time with designs and maybe getting towards Western.
Correct.
Your flair or what you was very Indo-French, simple, feministic type of design. How did you bridge that gap that, the demand in the market is more traditional in nature, your designs, were you trying to force it upon the consumer?
So luckily for me, I had also gone to Pearl Academy of Fashion, and I was the first student actually of their fashion batch.
Oh.
And God bless Mr. Nair, who was my mentor at that time. And then when I also went to London, so I think amalgamation of two, being domestic and international, also gave me that experience and that exposure, So I have always been, I don't really do hardcore Indian, though I absolutely love the Indian culture and the values. I just like to blend it in a more Western way. So that's why if you look at all my collection, has a lot of Indo-Western, inspiration. It's romantic, it's feminine, it's got a flow. But I definitely take a lot of Indian, be it the motives, be it the, all our embroideries have been derived by the Indian culture. So it's a beautiful mix of both.
So this is something which naturally comes to you. Is it deliberate? Your design philosophy, where does it, I'm just trying to understand, where does the design philosophy stem through? I mean, for you.
I think it's a very personal thing because it's to do with me, my own personality. Like I don't really do too much of structured stuff. I always have that softness and that feminine, if you look at all my collection would have the word love. So for me, these are few elements which I think is my own persona, and I like to reflect it in my garments. And I know that most of my clients also like that, to have that. There is powerful, there are a lot of structured stuff in terms of be it your collars and everything, but there is a feminine side of it,
And that's the design that flows through all your collections.
Yes, it is.
And you started obviously in 2000. When did you finally feel that now, yes, I have at least made it, okay, now I have at least have some structure in place, okay, my designs are acceptable, I'm selling something at the end, there's a commercial angle to everything, I've started selling, people have started accepting. When did that happen?
So it did take time, and I think my first exhibition was with, Divya Garva, she has this exhibition called Bridal Asia. And I remember I had just started, nobody had known my brand. And that time you had to submit your clothes for approval. So I had sent about some 5-6 garments to her for her to see my quality, my garments. And she said, yeah, it's amazing and, be a part of it. And I took smallest of their, area because I was doing it for the first time. And Suraj, that was my calling. I think that's when I realized, because there were so many people who had come. They had not even known my brand. And that time I was doing hardcore Pratt. It was again the Indo-Western. And I was right opposite another designer, a very known designer. And it just so happened that I actually, with God's grace, I sold really well, like really well. And I still remember the designer coming up to me and said that, it's amazing that you have really done well for your first time. So I think a little bit of that encouragement from everyone, my first exhibition, I think that was my turning point to understand that commercially I can do well.
Can do well, yeah. Because that's very important to get that confidence as an entrepreneur.
Yes,
That
yes.
this was maybe an unfortunate start which happened. Maybe I would have done it many years later.
Yes,
I come with less experience, but finally I have some confidence going.
Yeah.
So speaking at industry at large, right? It's a demanding industry. I would say both from a creative angle and a financial angle.
Yeah.
From a creative angle, if we see the designs and they're so fast moving items,
Yes.
right? Today designs change like at the blip of, and from a financial level, we have situations which I gave in the beginning is, you have dead stock, you have cash flow issues. So over these years, what have you learned both from creative angle, which is fast moving items and fashion changing very fast, competition getting something and the fashion changes towards that and someone else comes, and from a financial level, that what you have learned, considering what I understand is you did not go outside raising money for yourself, right? So you have to manage within your own means.
Right.
So how have you?
So it was very, very tough. I still say it, and I didn't even know the meaning of petty cash. I didn't know what it is for inventory, how to build a factory, the processes. I don't know what invoicing was. I didn't know anything. I was really like a little baby, but as I said, you keep learning, you make mistakes. So even now I'm making a lot of mistakes, but I'm okay with it. So every year, every month was a learning. So whether it was to understand the design process, the production process, the inventory, the marketing, now social media has become a big thing. So every time it was like a baby step, I didn't know, as I said in the beginning, I didn't even know how I'm going to pay 5,000 as my rental. I didn't know how I'm going to pay my master or my tailors. But I think I would always say there was some blessing right up there. I had some very good clients who stood by me. Even till today, they are my clients of 25 years. Be it from Punjab, be it from Jalandhar, I still remember my clients coming all the way there. I think they understood that I understand their demand and everything. And I kept on learning. I did a lot of reading and I did a lot of webinars. I did a lot of courses. I've actually done an MBA course for 9 months also. So I think the point is that you have to keep learning. If you don't have a mentor and you've not done anything like an industrial background, for me, I still struggle with inventory. I still struggle with so many aspects. As I said, don't give up. And you just have to learn and just have to see what works for your brand and keep trying it. There is no such fixed rule that if you do this, it will happen, because every brand is different. Every collection is different. You can make the best collection. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. But you have to keep going.
I mean, you were talking about sometimes it works or not. And I was thinking there may be instances, right, where you have created something which is you think you really like, you think it's going to work for sure. But when we go commercially, it may not work.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
So have you had instances
Many.
where...
Many. Because see, what happens is that as a designer, as a creative person, you think a lot from your heart. Though businesses think from your mind, your businesses see your cash flow, see your balance sheet, see your profit and loss account. But as I'm doing everything by myself, being a creative person, I'm thinking more creatively, what I would like to, what my heart desires. Sometimes it doesn't work commercially. So you do get that danda all the time. Yeah. Like recently only it happened that I'd, gone for a very big event. And I got a very good feedback. I sent my lookbook to them and I said, will it work in that country? And I went, it was a Paris exhibition, a very big show, Fashion Week. And I sent my lookbook to the agent and they said, it's fantastic, it's resort and nobody's doing it and you will stand out and everything. And I said, okay, great. I went with a lot of hope and everything. And everywhere around me, they were doing winter colors. Everybody was doing hardcore embroidery. It was a different look altogether.
Absolutely opposite.
I'm looking left, I'm looking right, and I realized that what am I doing here? Yes, I did stand out because I was doing resort, but it didn't go with the people who were coming to buy. They were looking at more winter drop. They were looking at more darker tone colors, and I had everything opposite. It was very demoralizing. I was very sad, and I was like, but we made the best of it also. We did a great shoot. I did get lucky because I got other buyers from America who were not really looking at this drop. For them, they were looking at my delivery is going to happen now in February. So they were looking at the other drop. So I kind of managed it, but I went with a different hope.
With a lot of hope, maybe. Yeah.
So this happens all the time and we go through it. But again, you take it as a learning.
And it happens vice versa as well. Sometimes you think, it's a decent collection.
Suraj, I've always learned that till you don't give your 100% to it, first you have to give your 100%. I do not compromise there. You have to give your 100% to whatever project or whatever you're doing. If you give your 100% and if it doesn't work out, yes, you will go through a bit of low. It will demoralize you. I don't have any funding. For me, it's like whatever I'm earning, I'm putting it back in my business. Everything is a rotation, right? So financially also you come down because it's a big project. You went to Paris all the way and blah, blah, blah. But then you say, what is the learning? Then you always want to strive better and then you do better research. But it's okay, it's part of life.
So you said research. So I'm just trying to understand, what is your design philosophy? How does a collection get born to the process of how do you go about your collection?
So basically, there are seasons. So what happens is, suppose you're doing a bridal season or you're doing a resort, then your inspiration has to be towards that. So for us, because we develop our own prints, and when COVID hit in, it's a very interesting journey about COVID also, that everything was, everybody had given up and everything. And my resort was something that happened during COVID. And because everybody was going crazy thinking everybody wanted to come out of their houses. Everybody was thinking of holidays. And so that time, I was thinking of resort, of a collection. I was doing Indian throughout. So I changed my line during COVID. I built my collection during that time. And I launched resort soon after COVID. And that, God willing, with God's grace, it has actually turned out to be, we are actually on top when it comes to being a resort designer. So when you talk about inspiration, so we develop our prints ourselves, so it starts from the developing of the motive of the print it's a beautiful process, and so from the color combination to the motives, to the inspiration, to the sketches, to the rendering, to the embroidery, the fabric selection, the draping of it. It's a beautiful process. And I love it.
And how long is the process generally, on average? So
it takes about 3 months. Yeah. So if you want to do a good project, you should give 3 months for the whole, R&D. So we make our test fits. It's something I absolutely love.
So you've worked with celebs over your career. How have they helped you, or how have they? Generally you need someone to bump you up a lot of times throughout your career.
I like that question very much because, in India, we all, all of us have this thing about a celebrity, having a celebrity, like a celebrity wearing our brand, you feel good. And a lot of other people start valuing that, okay, this brand must be doing very well 100%. Because they are with,
in today's world more because of Instagram.
It is everything, however, some people might say, oh, it's no big deal. It is a big deal. And let's face it, I openly say that if a celebrity or a good influencer wears it, I've seen my own clients messaging me, oh, I love that. I want to wear that. So there is that kind of an aspiration, right?
That's a practical reality.
It is. And we have to accept it.
Correct.
So I was very lucky that I got a very nice project to do with many celebrities at one go. Not only one go. I had Malaika, Lara Datta, I had Priyanka Chopra. So at that time, I was given this project to style them for one of the very big event. And I went to Bombay and I went with my sketches and I was so scared and so petrified because I was meeting them for the first time. I still remember my meeting with Malaika. She was in the middle of a shoot and she saw me and I stood there and I was literally, my words were not coming out.
That's very natural.
Because I was so, intimidated by her personality and, she's a celebrity and I was very young and I was not exposed to any of this. And so I just had my sketches and my sketches were like, I could see my hands trembling,
sweating and
and I think she realized that I was nervous. So she just sat me through and she just looked at me and she said, just relax. And she went through all my sketches. She said like 3-4 good thing. And of course, with other people also I created a bond, but with Malaika, I don't know what happened. I think it was something that, I really, really can't thank her enough because she was the first person who walked for my show and she's walked for so many of my shows. And I've just asked her once, Suraj, that I would love for you to walk for my show. And she's never said no to me. And trust me, I don't know, I'm saying it openly that no money, no monetary involvement, nothing. I think she just had that thing that, okay,
And then the connect happens also.
The connect happened. And so I'm very grateful to her. I'm very grateful to so many celebrities who have actually supported me. And
So, I was thinking you built your business when we were speaking recently without external funding. And today's time is very different. The new age startups which are coming in, even in fashion.
Yes.
Their first motive is external funding.
Yeah.
That's maybe a mindset shift or a concept shift.
No, but it's important.
It's important. But I still want to understand, what is one core principle you have learned which you would like to tell people that, because what we hear only one success story out of hundreds of funding, right? We don't hear the 99 unsuccessful startups which get created with a lot of hope and they don't get funded, right?
Yeah.
But the mindset is funding.
Yeah.
So what is one core principle you have learned over 25 years and how to manage that so that funding is great, but it's not the only thing which can drive your success?
Funding is great, as you said, because that can help you to get your business growing in XXX, XXX faster than you can do it yourself.
Correct.
Right? In my case, and I would say to everyone that one is that I always say when you go to all these fashion houses and you learn the creative side of it. Unfortunately, I wish business school, fashion school start teaching business side of fashion. I've always said that. Like I'm a part of Pearl Academy. I'm part of, Delhi Times also have this Bennett University. I'm a part of their university. And that's the first thing I say that, start grooming, start teaching children much earlier in life about business side of fashion, which we never learn. We don't understand how to even see your balance sheet. What are cash flows? How do you manage your, overheads? There is so much that goes into the business of it, and it's very, very important to understand finance. Very important. So when this COVID happened and when later on COVID, I did so many courses in finance, Suraj, you can't imagine, because I realized that is my bottleneck. I didn't understand. I can be very creative. But if you don't have people if you don't have your parents or you don't have any of your fun people who already have a whole business structure and you're just a creative person, then it's all right. But if you're a solo entrepreneur and you have to do everything yourself, you must learn business. You must learn finance. You must understand it.
Yeah, it was very interesting. I was chatting with a musician and he said the same thing. He says, we get so much into creating music that we forget the business side.
Yes.
And the business side is sometimes even more important because your creativity can only come out if you...
It is very, very important. Like I was just telling someone just asked me, which was your last store? I said, Dhan Mill. I just opened with so much heart and so much, after COVID was my first store that I opened after. I had like 7-8 stores earlier. But Dhanmil I opened with so much passion, and it was such a beautiful store. And there were 2 living trees, and I loved it. Nobody was touching that because who's going to take a store which has 2 trees?
Yeah.
But I love nature, and I thought it'll go very well with my resort and everything. But again, my negotiation was so poor, and I was cursing myself. I put in all that saving that I did for so many years, put into a new store, because you understand, opening a store is a lot of money, right?
Yeah.
There's inventory, there's doing up, then you have to give X amount of, security deposit.
Yeah.
But I was, even now, I'm talking about just 6 months back, my negotiation was so poor. So as I said, I'm still learning. This is something I would, if I had a business partner, if I had someone who was looking at my business side of it,
right.
I wouldn't have made that mistake.
Absolutely.
But now I know if I'm open another store, I'll be more careful. But again, I'm learning with my own mistakes.
Yeah, but that's an ever growing thing. No matter what you learn, there'll be something new to learn for sure. And so as an industry, when we speak about the fashion industry, how have you seen it evolve from when you started in 2000 to now 25 years hence? Yeah. How have you seen the evolvement happening?
I think it's been brilliant involvement. I think if you look at it, that we are now recognized globally. You look at Priyanka Chopra, you look at all the big designers taking inspiration from Indian culture. You look at your motives being used internationally. And they're giving us credit also. So it's a very proud moment for India that we have been recognized globally. And we've all evolved. I think India's in a very good space at this point of time.
Absolutely. For everything, I think.
For everything.
Yeah. And, people always say, and this is more hearsay, that, fashion industry, what you see is very different than what is behind the scenes.
It is.
So give us some examples.
So Suraj, everyone feels that, they look at a show. The show is just for 2 minutes or something. But the preparation that goes behind the show is tremendous. There is so much of hard work that goes behind, everyone says it's such a glamorous line. Whoever you want to talk to, they say, oh, we want to be a designer.
Correct.
I said, oh, really? Then I said, come and work with us and you'll understand how glamour it is. The thing is that it's like any other industry. It is a lot of hard work. There is so much competition that we all know about. And so you have to be on top. You have to be on top of design. You have to be on top of marketing. You have to be on top of your e-commerce, of your social media, of everything. You have to be on top. There is not a moment that you say, okay, now I'm easy. When it comes to shows, when it comes to collection, when you come to buyers meeting, there is so much stress because we all have so much of, you have deadlines. And deadlines have to be met. And in international, I do exports also. When you miss your deadline, you get penalties. And there's a huge penalty per day, it's like 5% of your, and in export, you have very little margin.
Correct.
You don't have that thing that you can say, okay, you're delayed. So all that I'm saying is that everyone feels that on the exterior, it's very
so
beautiful.
Yeah. It's like the celeb world where people are so, oh wow, celebrities are so lucky, their life is so nice.
No, but I'll tell you, it's a tough business to get into. But you have to have that passion, deep passion. I always tell everyone, please don't do it as a hobby. You really have to feel it deep down your heart to make it happen and be prepared to work hard. That is very important. And have that discipline also. Yeah.
So does public perception, either about your work or something, trouble you? I'm just trying to think, again, thinking about the industry, right? Yeah. You cannot convince everyone or you cannot have everyone love you. It's a harsh reality.
Not at all.
Right? So how much does public perception trouble you, I would say?
I'm actually a very sensitive person. I overthink. The other day, my yoga teacher was also telling me that, Madam, aap bahut zyada sochte ho. Because I'm always thinking. And that is something I'm trying so hard to work on myself, because it's easy to say, okay, if media is talking bad about you, if someone has said something bad about you, it doesn't matter. It matters to me.
100%.
It hurts me.
It's just a good thing to say.
Yeah. No, you just want to say it because you want to feel cool about it.
Correct.
It's just a thing that you want to feel cool, but for me, it doesn't work. It deeply hurts me. I do get affected. I get sleepless nights also on it. And it's a reality. That's how I'm built. And I'm trying to work on it, but that's how I am. So yes, it does bother me. But I still remember I've had shows where I've got really brutally criticized by a journalist. And it just so happened that I met her just 2 years back at another fashion week. And she hugged me and met me as if I was her best friend. And I still remember and she really ripped me off. And I remember I went through a nightmare and I was sad and, demoralized and devastated. And then after 20 years, she meets me and gives me a big hug and say, wow, you're doing amazingly well. I need to interview you. So things change.
Things change, absolutely.
And the same journalist met me. So then I just told myself, it's okay. It was a phase. I learned, I made mistake. And obviously, as I said, with mistakes, you have to learn. Either you give up and you become a victim, or you say, no, you make something out of it. And I think that has been my philosophy. Get the best out of it.
But come 2025, we have Instagram. People have weird comments all the time, right? And you cannot stop them. And these are people maybe who don't even understand. They may be varied people. I would not say they don't understand. They have their own opinion. They can say whatever they want.
Yeah.
But when you read through that stuff, it sometimes affects you even more.
It does. It does. As I said, I'm a sensitive person. It bothers me. And sometimes when there is a comment, then I make sure that we talk to them. If there is a problem, we address it. But Suru, there are issues where sometimes it's not in your control. Like we were talking about turbulence, we were talking about obstacles. Like sometimes I feel being a woman, solo entrepreneur, sometimes I feel life is not so easy. When I say that, for example, I'll give you 2-3 examples. I remember that when I was to move my factory during COVID, and from one factory to another factory, I had to move. And I remember how my landlord made me cry every night. Because I could not go physically because of COVID.
Correct.
And all my deposits that I had given to him, he refused to give it back to me. So again, I feel that sometimes why I'm saying this is because I feel, I'm not saying that being a woman is so bad. It's amazing. There are a lot of amazing things. But there are things that I feel that I would like any other woman entrepreneur to understand that you will go through it, what I went through it, but be ready, which I wasn't ready. Like I wasn't ready that's something that was my hard-earned money. I gave it to him. It was his duty to return back. I didn't get it. And then I still remember when I had to move from my factory in Ladusserai to Noida, which actually is legal to move a factory to one place to another. And I had such a huge labor issue. So many people went to court and, because sometimes I feel that if I had a man, I'm just giving an example. I'm just telling you a few struggles that I feel that I'm trying to overcome and I'm trying to learn. When they see a woman entrepreneur, solo entrepreneur, sometimes I feel, people feel that they can...
Still?
Yeah.
Still?
Yeah. I'm still going through it. So, like for example...
I could go back to 2000 and I could see maybe, but I'm amazed still.
It is. I've had people who've come to my factory, shown their power when they don't really have to, when I'm not at wrong, but just to scare me. Be it letters, even now when I get some letters here and there, I'm talking about union, not about my stalking. But I just feel sometimes I feel that they take a little advantage, that they feel that women they get scared fast, they succumb to some things. But I have now learned to overcome that, that, okay, I will face it. If you're not wrong, you're not wrong. And then sometimes I feel that I just wish that now we should also been, I just wish, sometimes I wish I had a man in front of me who would take care of all these things. Some part of me would say that, okay, I wish there was someone who would take care of all these front issues where I don't have to get into labor and, issues and,
I'm amazed
cases.
still these issues. I mean, that's the surprising part. Like,
It does
still
happen.
these issues. And obviously you would see more because there's a women entrepreneur.
Yeah, it does happen. And then you go, I just feel, sometimes I still feel slight little bit of discrimination that does happen, that, okay, they feel that you're talking to a woman, you can suppress her, but sometimes you have to tell yourself that you can't. So you have to have that power to say, you know what, take me on. It's all right. I can face it,
But in the fashion industry, if you were to see, there are more men or more women who...
when we deal with people,
then I can understand men.
They are mostly men, because you deal with mostly men.
Correct.
Right. So, but there are many women designers. There are so many successful women designers. So, yeah.
So, has there been any incident with you where overnight something has drastically happened? And COVID was one, but have you had any instance over such a long period that, overnight something and you had something in your mind, some plan and everything becomes a disaster?
I still remember that we had just opened at MG1 and MG2. MG1 was one of the most beautiful...
the fashion hub or whatever.
Yes, a destination, shopping mall that... It was recognized everywhere. Whoever from the NRIs, whoever would come to India, the first place they would go to is MG1. All the designers were under one roof. And I was lucky I had a store there. And then I opened another one next to it called MG2. And trust me, Suraj, overnight, I just got a call, and I still remember I was running temperature, and someone called my husband and said, please wake her up, there is some issue. So my husband is waking me up. Then what happened? He said that there is news that tomorrow morning is going to be demolished. This is at midnight. And whatever cars we had, we went all the way, and whatever inventory we could pull out, we could. And next morning, it was all gone. We were all standing in front of MG1, MG2.
It was demolished, right?
It was demolished. There was media there. There was nothing we could do. There's nothing we could do.
It was a shock to everyone, I guess.
Big shock. It was a big shock to everyone. And there was nothing we could do, trust me.
And at that time, you didn't have too many alternatives like today, right?
No, now, see, and after that, of course, then we opened at Crescent, which was again a beautiful store. And then they closed. And then, of course, now you have Ambavata, you have Dhan Mill, you have so many now other things. But that time, there was only one. And it was a beautiful mall. And if you look at it now also, it's so dilapidated. Nothing has happened.
Nothing has been done.
Nothing.
And it's been good 15 years or something like that,
so
right?
sad. And it was all our hard-earned money.
Yeah, of course. So you spoke about Fashion Week. How has that helped you in your career, being either part of Fashion Week or,
Fashion Week always helps. And I think it's something designers must do. And that's when all the media comes, all the stylists, everything. It's a good platform to be there. But I also got a really good opportunity to be doing a lot of Blenders Pride Fashion Week, also their Shiva shows. And a big shout out to my really dear friend Vikram Basu, who believed in me at that time and gave me the opportunity to be doing many shows with them. That was also a very good shift in my career, where I was doing shows all around, be it Delhi, be it Bombay, be it Dubai, everywhere we were doing shows where they really pampered us. Everything was given on a platform, So it was something I really enjoyed doing, and that really helped my career.
And you obviously spoke about Fashion Weeks, looks very glamorous,
Oh, it does.
very intense. Tell us maybe one unexpected experience or moment at the backstage you had before.
So backstage, Suraj, is crazy. Because what happens in backstage, because see, as audience, you're just seeing something. You're seeing music. You're seeing models walking beautifully, and here we are at the backstage, because the girls have to change into their second round, and if they don't change in their second round quickly, suppose a zipper has come off or there is a hook issue, and these things happen. By the way,
like very natural
they happen because they are changing into their second round so fast. Sometimes a bead has fallen off, a Swarovski has fallen off, a zipper has ripped off. There are so many things that go behind the stage, back. You have no understanding of it. It's so crazy, and it's so fast. There are times when a celebrity has to walk for you, and they're about to announce your celebrity, and she's just about walking in, not even like, she's just like, say, a little far, and we're going, my heart is racing so fast because her name is coming, and she's still kind of coming in. So there are so many things that go. Somebody's heels have gone off. There's crazy situation at back. Yeah.
But what qualities do you see in a person who can work in such chaos? I mean, you have people
you have to at that time just tell yourself that calm down. Even though you're not calm, but you have to keep saying just calm down, because there's nothing you can do, So I think with experience, you just learn to say, okay, it happens. There are quick fix. You start, you just have to be ready, but
backup plans.
Yeah, but you have to just stay calm.
Yeah. And have you gone through intense or unusual situations in your stores, or that also, or stores are relatively calm?
Stores, of course, because you're dealing with clients, and when you're dealing with clients, clients are demanding because they are paying you for X amount of quality. They're paying you for good fit. They're paying you for a design, and they have the right. Why not? But some clients can be very, very difficult. Some clients are very easy to work with, and so struggles and understand you're dealing with people. Whether you're working with back end in your factory with people. Everywhere you're working with people. So as a person, as an entrepreneur, you just have to learn the skill of communication with different kind of people, and that is something I'm learning even now. With your karigars, you talk in a different way. With your master, you talk in a different way. With your client. But end of the day, it's people.
Do you come across, I would say, cheap copies of your designs?
Oh yes, you've just reminded me. It just so happened about 2 months back. I haven't taken it up right now, but now that you've just reminded me, I'm going to do that.
But are you flattered or you're furious? Let's say.
Actually, earlier I used to get very upset, very, very upset. Now, imagine that you've just reminded me, it's been 2 months, I've not taken any action, which means that I'm okay with it now, right? There were times when I was not
Still
okay
not
with it. I'm okay, but it does bother you, because these guys, they are from Calcutta base. Now that you reminded me, I'm going to take this up very seriously. So we are a part of FDCI, which is your Fashion Design Council of India. So we are part of it. So I called them up for seeking advice. So they have like lawyers there who help out in these kind of situation. I remember speaking to the lawyer, and he said, don't worry, give us, we will take them on, because they have done a full copy. They've not changed anything around. It's my same print, 100% copy. If I'm selling it for 12,000, they're selling it for like some 3,000 or 4,000. I don't know how they're doing it. I don't know how they're managing that, but it's a full copy, Suraj. Full copy. Now I'm actually laughing. But
no, I'm just trying to think, because generally we hear this a lot, right? The copies and people who cannot afford, let's say, paying a 12,000, right? They want to wear your clothes, right? They're really great paying 3,000. So they're the ones who are really happy with the product. I know. It's your hard work. It's your IP. It's your 3 months of work.
I was just going to say that. I just told you my whole process that goes into it, and it does. You do feel bad about it, but I'm going to take action now.
So I was reading, you follow Sadhguru, right? And you've spoken about spirituality.
Yeah.
I'm thinking from more that design is more exterior. spirituality is more interior, right? So how do you make that coexist, considering your work is a lot more exterior and what you follow is more interior? So the coexist, how does that happen?
I firmly believe that if you really want to make success of anything in life, be it work, be it personal relationship, be it marriage, be it being a mother, being any role that you want to, you have to have a balance. And the balance will only come if you're spiritually inclined. And it doesn't happen overnight. It's a practice. It's like in business or anything, any skill, you have to learn. Even spirituality is a learning. So when I started, I was very new to it. And so it is a journey that I'm really enjoying. And it is something which is helping me immensely right now. Because as you know that our line is very, very stressful. And when I say stressful, trust me, very stressful. And when you're a solo entrepreneur, it's more stressful. Because you are responsible. No, because you're responsible of paying X amount of employees' salaries on time. And for me, that is a big responsibility I feel. I might not have extra in my pocket, but I make it a rule that whatever it is, even if I'm traveling, I must pay my people on time because they're depending on me. Their entire family is dependent on me. So I think spirituality, meditation is a very key part in my life. And that is helping me a lot to help out in the exteriors that we are, which you just spoke about. Yeah.
So let's talk 1 minute about AI. And why I want to talk about AI is you've seen the fast evolvement of AI.
Yeah.
You work in a creative industry.
Yeah.
Right? And the first thing it's hit is the creative industry because of the designs. You spend 3 months developing a design process.
Correct.
AI takes not even 3 minutes.
Yeah.
And it creates crazy designs.
True.
Right?
True.
I mean, it's like really crazy good designs. How do you think as future goes on, I mean, the next few years, how will you evolve with AI becoming so good?
I would say AI is good. And I think we should, as you were talking about evolving fashion, evolving everywhere. So you have to understand, take the best out of AI. Don't depend everything on AI. So there are tools that you can make, your productivity can get better. The time that we were spending more time in our sketching and our thing, now AI can do that faster. So it has helped designers like us to be more productive. One. Second, our presentation to buyers, presentation to clients have become far more professional, which was taking us more time. My design team was doing all the CADs and the process was much longer. Now you can actually do your presentation faster. Another third way, which I feel, which has helped us, AI has really helped in our e-commerce. There are tools which you all understand, the CRM, the client relation management, which you talk about, it's automated beautifully. There are things, the data that you can collect with AI is faster. And in a way, if you can manage AI in your advantage, you must do it. But as I said, don't depend on it totally. Like I wouldn't depend on AI for a new collection. I might take inspiration. My design team might take AI as a help in a lot of other things. Let's say our social media content creating. AI is great as long you know how much to use it and let it not overpower you.
I have a quick rapid fire questions for you.
Oh my God, I'm always so scared of that.
One trend from 2000 you're happy to leave behind?
Fashion trends is something that you should always look at, but don't follow blindly. It has to be your personality. It has to be your persona. There are a lot of times people ask me, oh, what are the color trends? What are the silhouette trends? What should we be doing? Yes, we always follow trends. It's always good to understand trends, but don't follow them blindly. So, and trends is something that keeps evolving. It keeps coming back. Always. If you look at you look at any trends, be it say your retros, say your anything, say your any motive of any flowers, it keeps coming back. there is no such trends that is say that is gone forever. It always comes back, and that is something for us to enjoy it at that moment. But there is one thing which I always say I'm not a big fan of, is this ankle boots that I'm not a big fan of. You would never catch me wearing a dress with ankle boots, something I'm not okay with. But there are people who carry it off beautifully, but I'm not okay with it.
Very personal choice.
Yeah, as I said, fashion is very personal.
If you were not a designer, what would you be?
Very interesting question. So, I was actually very interested in being a lawyer. Yeah, I never thought I would enjoy that. So there was a time when I thought maybe law would be something I would want to get into. I didn't do it, but I married one. My husband is a lawyer. So, but I think I'm so happy that I'm in this path. I'm so happy that this is something I eat, breathe, love. I love what I do.
One word to describe the current state of Indian fashion.
It's global. It's recognized globally, and it's something that we should be very proud of.
One fashion designer you really look up to?
I like Anamika Khanna. I think she's brilliant. I find her design aesthetics, she's very talented. I like her.
Biggest myth people have about being a fashion designer?
That it's very glamorous. I'm telling you, please, I'm saying, yes, it looks glamorous, and why not? It's the myth.
One current trend you just don't understand?
I think when they do too much of print, when there is too much of print, mismatch of prints. When I see a lot of abstracts, floral, geometric,
all in one,
animal prints, there is too much of everything. That confuses me. I personally don't like so much of everything put into one. I like a little bit of space, in anything that we do. Not कैसे कहते हैं ना खिचड़ी हो गई है, वो नहीं होनी चाहिए.
Any design habit you carried on from studying in London, which you still carried on, a philosophy or any design concept, even though it's been 25 years, but that is still
I think, as I said, I do a lot of research, I do a lot of learning, I amalgamate a lot of Indian and Western together. So I study a lot of both cultures. I'll do a lot of Western studying. I see a lot of what international designers are doing, what our Indian roots are. That is something I still do it even till now. I do a lot of amalgamation of both.
Yeah. So how would you like to be, how would you would like your designs to be remembered? Once you, let's say, retire, move on.
I hope I don't retire so soon.
Hope you never retire, but yeah.
No, I would want to get back to doing something which I don't get time for. I would want to be remembered for someone who deeply was passionate about designing. Someone who was truly true to her own vision in terms of her passion. And as I said, that all my design philosophy has always been very romantic and feminine and pretty and flowy, soft, and something which is actually my persona. I would want people to relate that to my design philosophy.
One last question.
Sure.
You spent decades in an industry, I would say, on appearances, presentations, perfection. You have your spiritual journey as well. Looking back, what is success to you? And what is success to you? And success, obviously, 25 years back would be different what it is to you. How has that changed? And how has it shaped you? I mean, long question, but...
Success. I mean, if you really ask me, I still feel I still have a very long way. I'm brutally, honestly telling you, I still, on my mirror, have a vision board where I've written things that I still want to achieve. I think for me, success is that if I was able to do everything by myself in 25 years with all the hurdles in my life, and I've still stood and I'm still doing a podcast with you, and I hope and I pray that I carry on doing this with far more learning. What at that time, when I was in 2000, I didn't even know the meaning of success. That time I was just surviving. I was just about trying to, come out of my situation. If you really truly ask me, I don't think I've touched success yet. I still think I still have a long way. And I think that whole desire, the whole fire in my belly of being successful, or to still carry on, to still wake up in the morning, that I have a new day, that feeling that I want to go to work, for me, that is still a success. That I still look up every day as a new day of achieving something new, is something I'm loving that feeling. And if that is called success, so that is success.
Great, Mandira. Thank you so much
Thank you.
for being here.
Thank you so
great
much,
learning, I'm
Suraj.
sure,
Thank
for
you.
everyone. And thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Thank you.